Quoting now, please be informed that a new product price adjustment has been effected on our payment platform. To this end, the price of premium motor spirit PMS is now 151 naira 56 kobo per liter. This is effective 2nd September 2020. It was later revised down to 147 naira. So now, since then, many Nigerians, you, me, even this morning, many Nigerians have been quite rational behind the increment in fuel, despite the negative effect of COVID-19 that have not only affected the economy but also taken a huge toll on individual income over the last 5 months across the world. The presidency finally justifies the hike in the price of fuel in a statement signed by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu yesterday. Let me quote a part of that statement signed by Garba Shehu. It reads, to stop the mismanagement of taxpayers' money, eliminate corruption associated with subsidies on petroleum products, power, fertilizer, among others, the government took the decision to implement long-delayed reforms, withdraw, and allow the market to determine their prices. Lagos, that's what the presidency said. Is it that the current fuel price is long anticipated after many years of manipulations going on by the presidential statement over the weekend? Is it that, they've had this idea for a very long time? Is the present country's economy a justification for the present increase in fuel price? Is it the right time? Could there ever be right time? I mean, what other essential commodities is the new increment likely to affect? We'll take a look at all of these and more. The issue of the pricing of petroleum products has dominated public discourse and policy contestations for years in Nigeria. For years, it's always been there. Arguments from right, left, center, arguments have been there. They focus on subsidy removal. If we don't do it now, when are we ever going to do it? By the way, let me just go straight to introducing my panelists this morning. Dr. Brown Bayfun is joining us via Skype this morning. Dr. Brown, a very lovely morning to you, sir.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Dr. Brown is former Pengasin president, former DPG1 of TUC, former president of ICMC. ICMC, by the way, is the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators of Nigeria. So he will be approaching this from the mindset of how to, shed light on all of these things so we all understand exactly what is going on. He's also the convener of Save Nigeria's oil and gas industry. He's a founder, Africa Initiative for Transparency, Accountability, and Responsible Leadership. He joins us via Skype. Mr. Biodun Aremu is the Secretary, Joint Action Front. He joins us via the telephone. Mr. Biodun, good morning to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm Comrade Biodun Aremu.
Comrade, welcome, sir. It's good to have you. Let me start with you, Dr. Brown. Authorities have been urged to immediately reverse according to some critics, unfair hike in fuel price from 148 to 151. According to them, it will have a knock-on effect on millions of poor Nigerians who will struggle to meet the increased cost of transport and basic goods. We know how these things work. Once there is fuel price hike, every other thing goes up. What is your position on this, Dr. Brown?
Thank you so very much. Thank you again for having me. Thank you, Nigerians. Well, let me start. I just hope we'll have time to be able to truly do justice to it. But however, let me just start. Let me read from the scriptural background first. If you know what is right and you refuse to do it, you have sinned. That's what Philippians 4:17 says. And then when things go rocky, when things are hard, let us all take time to step back to rationally think through situation. The purpose of this is to ensure that we are not going to make mistakes, that we make the best of choices.
Right.
So to see what is right and don't do it is either want of courage or want of principle. That's what consumes. So having said that, many countries around the world have been in the same situation like Nigeria. Nigeria is not the first. Go to Iran, go to Brazil, very many countries. Nigeria, on one hand, when you think about fuel subsidies, just like all other countries, it is very difficult to remove because higher prices increase the cost of living, like you have said. On the other hand, there are also enormous opportunities to invest in alternative forms of social protection. In some cases, you find that our governments have used reduced expenditure on fuel subsidies to invest in short-term measures intended vulnerable groups to cope with those fuel shocks, as well as appeasing more politically organized group. But in Nigeria, we've not been able to do the right thing from time to time in terms of how we implement reforms, in terms of social protection for the people, in terms of how we manage inflation, in terms of how we design the new pricing system. That is why Nigerians are angry. They are angry because this government came to power, for instance, on the plaque of campaign promises that fuel could be reduced to 67 from 87, ensure that you have 24 hours power supply in 6 months. Dollar parity to the naira will be something below 100. We also know that the 2012-2013 protests were because of a subsidy, and then the change came, and everybody was jumping in with the hope that this government was going to do the needful and the impossible. Nigerians are angry now because they have rejected, if you remember, increase of fuel from 65 to 141. All right? That was in 2012. To accept 145 in 2000 and that's about 2 years ago or something like that. They accepted that price of 145 from this government because of integrity, because they thought, oh, this government is going to take us somewhere. But now fuel is 163. Electricity service has been increased. That is why Nigerians are very angry, because the price hike is based on dollar-driven and import-driven conditionalities. Right. We are not producing our own. Nigerians are angry because they are aware that government agreed with IMF to withdraw electricity and petroleum subsidies. So at one hand, you see people are beginning to have these conspiracy theories. The government also is going to increase VAT, and they foresee 6 months or about 7 months or so that Nigerians are likely going to pay more. Nigerians are angry because even if you want to do this, you did not talk to the people. You did not inform them. You did not enlighten them. You did not take them through it, which democracy says should happen. So, and if you want to transform a system and you know that the change is going to be very, very, dislocate the people's welfare and social benefits, you need to talk to them. You need to let them know where you are taking them through. You need to gauge the mood of the people. Now that COVID-19 is around the corner, is this the right said? But however, after saying this, I am a Nigerian, true. So I can feel it. I go to places. Between here and Benin, there was a time I wanted to travel. 6 hours, we were on the road. So people are asking, where are the infrastructures? Now, if this definitely is going to be what we have, but we have been in this not just today, and this is where I want to take Nigerians to remember that Comrade Ubani died for this same purpose. For those who were activists during our days, it was because of price hike they went to Meduguri or something like that. For want of time, I may not be able to go into that. But however, let us look at some of the fundamentals. Like I said, many countries have been where we are. The question is, as of today, COVID-19 has triggered off economic slowdown. That is the reality of time.
Very true.
COVID-19 has hit countries very badly, and Nigeria cannot be, because we're not even prepared as other people of the world. And so, therefore, what are we having? Nigeria is facing major economic challenges. Our external debt has risen from about 10.32 billion from 2015 to over 28 billion in 2020. I don't know, I just hope within that time. Growth is very slow. Unemployment is rising. Inflation is skyrocketing. We are struggling to deliver development to the people. 2018, for instance, we overtook India as the poverty capital of the whole world. Corruption is not abating. Government may be fighting it, but the question is, are we able to deal with it?
Right.
Subsidies are also contributing, whether we like it or not, to the crisis. Why? Because subsidy regimes have been mismanaged.
Okay.
We saw what happened when somebody was asking for close to $650,000 US dollars as grafts. to be able to remove a company's name from those who were going to be culpable of the subsidy issues. So it has become a very messy issue.
Right.
And each year, Nigeria spends close to about 2.8 billion every year on subsidy. And that is, just look at our budget. That is close to about 1 trillion, for instance.
That's right.
And so the question then is, what do we do? This thing has taken a long time, and I want to crave your indulgence to be able to say that price increase has started from the time of General Gowon, when he increased it, from a patchy sum of 0.6 to about 0. Something. It went to Muritala Mohammed increased, Obasanjo increased, but Shagari also increased. Even Shonekon that was there for 82 days also increased. But however, Babangida was the one that started the regime of subsidy. Why did he do it? In the 80s, he said that refineries were going to go through turnaround maintenance. For people not to suffer most of the ones, they were able to put subsidies in place. Let us show up investment programs for them. And that was how subsidy came into reality. And he promised that in 6 months, subsidy would have been removed because refineries would have been back on stream.
Right.
34 years down the lane, the refineries have never been back. So Nigerians should now have a choice. Is it the price we are talking about, or is it our infrastructural decay that we need to address?
Dr. Brown, please hold your thought, Dr. Brown. Let me quickly bring Comrade Abiodun in on this, so we can have both sides of this argument. Comrade Abiodun, thank you again for joining us over the telephone. The Joint Action Front went into an emergency meeting last week. Can you tell us the outcome of your meeting?
I think the issue is not just about the
Comrade Brown, we can't hear you.
I think it's not essentially about the outcome of the meeting.
Okay.
It's more essentially about the issues that we are to discuss. The primary responsibility of any government is the security of life and property. What is life without job? What is security of life without education? Without health care? Without social provisioning, decent housing, and even support for meaningful existence of the citizens? You see, the problem we are having over this whole issue, and Fela described it very well. When you run an R&D government, a government of deception successively, you have the kind of crisis that we are having now. If the primary purpose of government is to defend the interests of the people, even as Section 16, 1999 Constitution says, the oil that you are talking belongs to the major sectors of the economy. And the Constitution is very clear on that. The government shall manage the major sectors of the economy. But when you run an economy dependent on other interests, because we have refineries, the question is, why are the refineries not working? That's where you see the deception. Secondly, you have a government of deception in place, whose majority of some of those who are today in power corrupted the January 2012 uprising. Because many of them came in the wave of that popular current to join that procession. And they used that as part of their deceptive campaign, which we won against in 2015, to rise to power. Including the man now who was a former petroleum minister and also CEO in the portfolio as the president of the country. Because you cannot run an economy that is dependent on private interest. So that's why you have that fluctuations.
Okay.
Because the currency itself cannot be sustained.
Mm-hmm.
Why we are raising this? Because for jab
our language has not changed.
That's Joint Action Front.
Joint Action Front.
Right.
Our position has not changed. That the economy must be managed in public interest.
Okay.
For those who may be waiting sideline again, to want to take advantage of the wave of protest that's going to go on.
Right.
And that's why we told Nigeria we are constantly maintained.
Comrade Abiodun,
Yeah.
to state this very succinctly, from your meeting last week, I gather.
Yeah,
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on, correct me if I'm wrong.
Nigerians can understand. You see, this issue is about Nigerians.
Right.
It's about whether Nigerians want to say enough is enough with this deception. So that in 2023, or whatever becomes of the outcome of this engagement, people will not come with another deceit.
Correct. Comrade Abiodun, I want us to state things the way they are, and I want to go to what your group said, because you've not actually mentioned it, but I would prefer that you mention it straight. Your group mentioned Nigerians, urging Nigerians to rise against International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. You said they have imposed the socio-economic policies, including the market of price petroleum products.
Yeah,
what do you mean? What did you mean? What did your group mean by rising against IMF and World Bank?
What we meant is that they are the puppeteers, the creditor nations, the IMF, the World Bank, the so-called creditor nations. What we have in Nigeria are puppets running the economy, running the politics on behalf of them. And that even questions the fundamental basis of our own independence. Because why must international prices determine your crude if you're actually refining the fuel? That's the point, and that's the failure of government. And why the crude? Because it's a basic industry. It has effect, multiplier effect in all aspects of the economy. So that's why you see the impact. Anytime there's a fuel increase. And the same thing with the other energy crisis like electricity. So for that, it is to appeal to Nigerians. We must stop the section. Fella has stand down severally.
What is your position on subsidy payment?
There is nothing like subsidy. It's part of the deception. Where is that subsidy? That subsidy never existed. So this whole argument about subsidy, why must you subsidize what you produce? If you produce this fuel locally, you know why something come into play is this. We are not contributing meaningfully anything in the global economy. So you have deficit in your international trade. And it has clear effect on the value of your currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. So what you are paying now, you are paying slavery cost.
Slavery cost.
Yeah, because if you are to refine the fuel here, and the fuel has to be sold here, the fuel cannot be sold at international price. That's the essential thing.
All right. Come on.
The refineries not, because the refineries will work.
Right.
But the refineries will not work because they will lose the resources. And for you, let me give you a graphic example.
Yes, please.
There is no private capital in Nigeria. Don't let anybody deceive you. All monies are from public sources. When banks are to be bailed out, and Lamido Sanusi as governor of central bank, we bailed out the bank. 620 billion was taken from the central bank. If Dangote wants money today, he take money from public resources. And that's the more central issue why we said public resources must be managed publicly. And that is what is happening in all aspects of the economy.
Right.
Even the healthcare system. To run a program in Nigeria in combating COVID, Nigeria also has to depend on IMF. So that's the point that we are saying.
All right, Comrade Abiodun, please hold on. Please hold your thought, Comrade Abiodun. Dr. Brown, I'm going to ask you to please hold on as well. Let's just take a few thoughts from Lagos listening to us right now. We just take one or two calls right now. If you're tweeting at Nigeria Info FM is our handle on Twitter. Would like you to weigh in on this conversation as well. If you're calling, please, you've got 60 seconds to share your thoughts because we've got a very limited time to go to our first break. Okay, just 60 seconds. We'd like to hear what you think, Dr. Brown. After these calls, I am coming to you to get your thoughts on the timeliness of the subsidy removal by the government. Mba is here. Mba is calling from Ilasa. Mba, good morning to you. Hello, Mba, are you there? Mba? Okay, I think we lost Mba's call. Let's see who else we got here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Sheriff.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
This is Mr. Vincent from
This is who?
Mr. Vincent from Apapa.
Welcome. 60 seconds. Talk to me.
For some time now, I've been last on commenting about the Nigerian national issues. This one is blockbuster. The thing is, it has come out now to boil down to everybody that Nigeria is a scam. Governance in Nigeria is a mega criminal enterprise. The thing is, if you look at the whole, you see that even the subsidy itself, if any government that comes up in Nigeria that want to be even transparent with subsidy itself, talk more of the removal. If you look at the subsidy, I don't know whether you have gone through the subsidy scale. They put up transport margin, they put up this and that. It is a huge scam.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the thing is this: who is fooling who? Sheriff. Sheriff, I want to know who is fooling. Is it the citizens that are fooling themselves, or the government that are fooling the citizens?
Right.
Who is fooling who? This is the biggest. Nigeria is the biggest scam ever.
Thank you for your thought. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Lagos, what we're going to do right now is to quickly go on a break. Dr. Brown, please stay on the line. We'll take this short break right now. When we return, I'll come back to you to talk about the timeliness of the subsidy removal. Stay here, Lagos. It's Nigeria Info's Morning Crossfire. We'll be right back after this.
It's okay. That is okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. She off your mic. Over.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk. Your number one talk news and sports station. This is the Morning Crossfire with Sheriff.
It is It's the Morning Crossfire 99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos. Good morning to you. Thank you for being a part of our conversation this morning. I can see tweets on Twitter coming in. Thank you. I will go to them in a moment. But just so you know, we have Dr. Brown Obefun, former Pengasyn president, joining us via Skype this morning. We also have Comrade Biodun Aremu, Secretary Joint Action Front. He's also via the telephone. He joins us this morning. We've been having this robust conversation as regards the current increase in the price of petrol. Dr. Brown, let me come to you. When we started 5 a.m., most of the complaints I got was the fact that the timing was wrong. Do you have any problem with the timing? And I mean, is it a bad move to start with? Subsidy removal. Is it a bad move? And then the timing.
Thank you so very much. But quickly, first, if you listen, what I said before was that federal government did not gauge the mood of the men. That if they have gauged the mood of the perhaps would have done it differently, either through enlightening the people to say this is exactly what we wanted to do. But however, when it comes to timing, there is no time that has been right since 34 years that we have been under this subsidy. The reason is that as of today, I quite agree, Nigerians, there is hunger in the land.
Yeah.
People want palliatives, not something that is going to add to their challenges. Let us take that. And let us also agree that government has not done well by ensuring that it did not go out to the people. What would they have done, for instance, assuming we wanted to do this? Let us take something home. Every country has subsidy regime, but however, the subsidies must go directly to the people that you want to feel the effect. For instance, there's nothing stopping us, for instance, in subsidy food for low-income households in terms of food, water, public transportation, for instance, and even electricity. All right, you have employment assistance. For instance, you look at what we have in the public service, where the civil servant goes home with about 30,000 naira per month, and about 22 states are even unable to pay that minimum wage. That becomes it should worry government that this is going to also contribute to the level of not having enough take-home that will take-home pay that will not take them home. So we can subsidize essential services, health, education, and infrastructure. But above all, we need to monitor how it's done, because I'm worried, because even in Nigeria, go from the time of Shopee to trader money to all that we have, I can bet you that if we do forensic audits of all these, many people will go to jail. Having said that, whether we accept that subsidy is there or not, because I had my comrade, we have a meeting of the mind with my comrade on the other side, who says it is not about the increase, it's about the fact that we need to produce what we consume. Right. Because we are shipping out unemployment. Now, but whether we like it or not, what we see on paper by what government tells us is that from 2018, 9.8 trillion naira have been spent on subsidy in this country. What would that have translated to? For instance, if we have subsidized healthcare, it would have been able to build 328,000 units of primary healthcare units across the country at 30 million naira each. It would have been able to give free education to 5 million Nigerians at 1.9 million naira each. All right? In housing, that money would have been able to cater for 15 million units at about 658. So you can monitor, apart from that, it would have been able to build solar energy to transform the national grid now that we don't even have. And that would translate to about 360 million that will give you 27 megawatts units. So can you imagine taking 27 megawatts units of electricity energy to our grid today? What would they have been? The Baba, the Salonis, and so on and so forth. So subsidy is not a bad. But we need to understand that we direct them to where it should be, not subsidizing the rich the way we have done. When you look at the subsidy that we have embarked on in this nation, I fought against it during Obasanjo time. All right? But a leader must be able to appraise as you move on in life to see what is better or what is best. The subsidy we are talking about that we have spent on subsidy by paper, whether it exists or not, that is not even the issue. The thing is that it's on paper, is that subsidy overshoots what we have budgeted for health, for defense, for infrastructure in the last 4 or 5 years. So it means that our defense is underfunded, our education is underfunded. That money that we are spending on subsidy was enough to be able to let us to go back to school. So if we say there is no subsidy, then what is that money spent for? And that is why I agree with everybody that we must hold government accountable. There is no US, for instance, in the state of Texas, they have over 50 years old refinery working, and they are more than 30. In the United States of America, population is about 350. Nigeria is 200 million plus. They have about 135. Sorry, excuse me. They have about 135 refineries. Nigeria with 200 million people. How many refineries do we have? Just 4 from independence this time. So when you calculate what we have between US and Nigeria, our leaders have not done well infrastructures in place. And that is what Nigerians should go after. We must produce, not subsidy. Subsidy have been misused, it has been misdirected, and I think it is time to be able to say, let us do what is right. Lastly on this thought, for instance, what does it take Nigerians, or what does it take this government that believes also in feeding our school children by saying that, okay, we are going to give 30,000 naira to every household for education. That will cater for 21.8 million people in what we have spent. That is not too much, and people will feel it. So these are my thoughts on this subsidy issue, whether it is there or not. The thing is that on paper it is written. And if we cannot catch all those people that have mismanaged it, let us say bye to subsidy and let us come back home and say our government must put infrastructures in place. They need to subsidize food for the people. They need to subsidize electricity for the people, and they need to subsidize education and health to enable Nigeria. Go to good schools, go to good hospitals, and I think that is where my thought is going to lie on this issue.
Dr. Brown, thank you so much for joining us. You told me that you have a presentation later this morning at 9. So if you look at your time, we would like to let you go and prepare for your presentation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Lagos. Let's focus now to Comrade Abiodun, who is still with us this morning on the program. Beautiful presentation there by Dr. Brown. Comrade Abiodun, let me come to you as well. Would you like to react to anything Dr. Brown said before I ask you my personal question?
No, it's not about reacting to Dr. Brown's remark, but it's just to bring to light some of the things that Nigerians may have forgotten.
Okay.
Because in the rundown to the election, fortunately I'm at home engaging in these discussions. I have to open my system now.
Okay.
The Joint Action Fund make a statement. And the statement was this, if you permit me to read it.
Yes, go on, please.
Irrespective of that win the presidential election, that's 2015 election, the crisis in the economy is bound to continue because the economy agenda of the two major parties, PDP and APC, remain dependent on oil and capitalist policy of privatization and deregulation. These policies are operated and championed by servants of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, whose main business is to steal our national wealth for the use of the exploiters in Europe, United States of America, Japan, and Asia.
What makes you think the IMF is there to steal our national wealth? I mean, using your word.
A national wealth is spilled when it is exploited. Because you ask yourself, why are the refineries not working?
Exactly. Whose fault is it? The IMF's fault?
No, because the government we are having here is agent to international capital. They are not running government in the case of Nigeria. That's the point we are making.
Is there anything? Is there anything that gave them away? As is there anything? Hold on, Comrade Abiodun. Because the reason I'm asking this question is this government is not the first government that the refineries will not work under, right? And I'm asking this because I want you to be very clear as to your claims that you're making. What are those things that you have seen or Joint Action Front has seen to have given the government officials away or past and present governments of Nigeria away as being, against the people and favoring the IMF and the World Bank. What are those things that you've seen?
You are to run government based on public interest. When you run government on the basis of privatizations and deregulation, what you are going to have is what you are having. That's the point.
So hold on. Government should continue to run major...
on the basis of public interest.
So we shouldn't have privatized.
Not private interest. When you run government on private interest, that is what you have. You see, the central question here is who controls the economy and for whose interest. If economy is controlled in the interest of Nigeria, it must be run on public basis. That's why we are opposed to the privatization policy. There's a difference between private sector participation in the economy and privatizing the economy.
What is the difference, Comrade
When you
Abiodun?
privatize an economy, just hold on. When you privatize an economy, you use public resources, not private resources, to run economy on the selfish interest of individuals. That's the point. So the overriding interest in an economy must be on the basis of public interest, not individual interest. And that is why when you have those policies are being imposed by IMF and World Bank, their policies run in private interest. And each time you are taking those measures, they give you conditionality.
Of course.
Part of the conditionality of the IMF Nigeria took is that your goods and services will relate to international capital. So you are not engaged in any production. Why are the factories collapsing? It's those policies. You must ask yourself, why can't you run the oil industry? It's those policies. So you cannot run any government based on private policy and the economy will move. And that's why serious responsible government, you see, run the economy on public interest. What is the state of our public schools? I gave an example. As you negotiated an agreement in 2009 to revamp our universities.
Right.
The total cost of that agreement was then 1.3 billion naira. But banks, which are private interests, went underground. And Governor Lamido Sanusi, then of Central Bank, brought out 620 billion. That's half that amount to put our university in shape and get to revamp the bank. Ask what has happened to that 620 billion. Where did that money come from? Central Bank is public interest. The argument here now is that who control Nigeria? The people must control Nigeria. Economy must be based on the people's interest. If it is not, it's not acceptable. That is what we want people to see. Central to governance is the economic interest. Once the economic interest is based on private interest, that's why you can have the richest man in Africa from Nigeria. And Nigeria is the capital city of Africa today and the world.
The poverty.
Why is the poverty? Why are all private interests based on budget deficit? Where are they getting all their resources? They got it from the bank. Who controls the bank? Central Bank controls the bank. So these are the issues.
Comrade Abiodun, please hold the line. Hold the line. Let's get some reactions in on the telephone and, of course, on Twitter. 0700 993 993 993. Interesting conversation we're having this morning on the Crossfire. Comrade Abiodun has said a lot this morning on the show. I would like to get your thoughts on this conversation as well. Feel free to call 0700 993 993 993. That is 0700 993 993 993. That is a studio line. The Twitter handle is at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. That is at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. Joy Forever. If you're tweeting hashtag Morning Crossfire, very, very important. Subsidy has been a scam according to the present government. I always believe this is the worst government. Its claim no more subsidy when it was increased to 141 naira. Then unemployment is high. Nothing lasts forever. God bless Nigeria. Thank you, Joy Forever. Afinju Waja on Twitter says, I remember in 2012, we were told by the change agents in power today that subsidy was the only thing poor people are enjoying, so should not be removed. In 2015, they promised revamping refineries. Those ones are gulping billions with nothing. Afinju Waja sent that in. Let's speak with Jide. Jide is in Unilag. Jide, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Sheriff, I really appreciate you today for bringing this two gentlemen online.
It's all right.
In fact, they've spoken my mind. They've spoken my mind. Well done. Keep it up.
Thank you, Jide. Oh, that's why you called, Jide?
Yes.
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 Okay. Thank you, Jide, for calling. I appreciate it. I really do. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Yeah. Hey, now, I'm Richard from Lekki.
Welcome, Avichi.
Yeah, the thing is that, having said all this, then how do we people now be involved? Because all your analysis are basically based on with people as in citizens. Then how we now come? How are we now supposed to be involved? Because now most of us don't even have access to our shaman, governor, or senator. You know, most of us don't even have access to sit there. How do we now come about to now be involved?
Okay.
Yeah, that's my question.
I hear you. Let me quickly speak with Jonathan, then Comrade will respond to that. Okay? Thank you very much for calling me. I appreciate it. Jonathan, good morning to you.
Sheriff, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Now, I told you I'm going to call back.
Yes, you did.
Now, let me continue.
Yes, please.
Now, like I said when I called, I wasn't in support of removal. You can hear all the speakers that you have brought. You hear what they said. Infrastructure. Right? Nigerians, we need to identify what we want as a people. We need to do that. And I based my judgment then on the price of kerosene and diesel because it was not subsidized.
Right.
And I told myself that if this is the price that petrol will come to, we better stay with this subsidy. Except the refinery work, they fix the road, they have a durable transport scheme, sustainable one, and power is fixed, then you can remove it. If you do all this, Sheriff, I will not need to go and buy fuel to run my generator. After I'm guaranteed of 24 hours light. If they like, they sell it 500. That's the logic behind it.
Right.
But if all these things have not been fixed and you remove subsidy, what we are facing is what we face. They should return the subsidy. I am saying so again.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan, for calling me. Appreciate it. All right, I really do. Lagos, Comrade Aremu, let me talk to you very quickly right away. What is your thoughts concerning? Okay, this needs to go away right now. Where's Jonathan? Jonathan needs to go. Okay. Oh wow. All right. I think we lost Comrade Aremu there. While we expect Comrade Aremu, Abiodun Aremu to rejoin us on the telephone, quickly let me take some WhatsApp messages. They have been pouring in. Sheriff, look at what the analysts is saying. So superb. If a country is not run that way, we are going nowhere. Public interest economy. Felix from the Bashir sent that in. Felix, thank you for your message. Good morning, Sheriff. Your name is Ahmed from Apapa. Ahmed says, I'm talking about our country on recession where things normal in Nigeria, at least for a single day ever since 1960. The answer is absolutely no. All what we do is to raise one abracadabra, which will bring distraction to erase previous discussion. And it goes on to explain. Adebayo in Lagos says, On the issue of increase of fuel pump price and electricity tariff, please, can you throw more light on the statement credited to the presidency that subsidy has been removed because our president once said subsidy was a scam? And since the inception of this government, have they been paying subsidy before now? They stopped or what? Okay. Adebayo, thank you for your thought. I'll take another message on WhatsApp, then I will go to Twitter to take some tweets. Nigeria export vanilla light crude. The byproduct of this singular item is then imported back to Nigeria because our refinery cannot refine to meet local demands. The landing cost of this byproduct is very high. That is where subsidy comes in. The government then says NNPC sell these products to the marketers and sell at XXX price to the people. The debit will then be paid back to the marketers via subsidy. All this is so unnecessary. If the refineries and downstream sectors are privatized, we have to refine our crude to remove all their other sub-logistics cost that triggers price increase. The cost of chartering one vessel alone is mind-boggling. Dangote's move is very good start for us to trigger other. Okay, thank you, David. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Let's go to Twitter and take some tweets. Tweets have coming. Loads of them have coming. Please add hashtag Morning Crossfire to your tweet. It's very, very important. Oti Mano Iheme says they will remove subsidy to 200 if they like. You mean this is 200 naira? They will still loot the money and share it amongst themselves. They simply don't care about the people. It's evident the manner with which they steal. Emmanuel Iheme sent that in. Let's see. Olalekon Isaac says we must think of means to make Nigeria attractive to investment. Subsidy should be in production and not consumption. The current subsidy regime will result in nothing but waste. Olalekon Isaac on Twitter sent that in. At Nigeria Info FM is our Twitter handle. At Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. We're still trying to get back Comrade Abiodun on the line so we can wrap up conversation with him. Abioye Akinloye on Twitter says subsidy regime should go forever. It is unsustainable. We are just postponing the evil days. We can now mount serious pressure on government to expand those money on developmental projects. That's a tweet by Abioye Akinloye on Twitter. Impacto on Twitter says he says his name is Bashir. I'm particularly unhappy about this subsidy removal. I understand that Nigeria agreed with IMF to remove subsidies on fuel and electricity. It's a right initiative at the wrong time. People are going through a lot. That's Impacto on Twitter. Okay, let's see who else we've got here on Twitter. This one, quite a number of them. Crypto Fridge. I don't understand how you want me to read 6 different tweets, and you actually enumerated them. So let me try and take just one and leave the rest 5 because we have loads of others who have been waiting. We've always had the notion that we earned our independence. However, some facts still remains. 1, Nigeria gained national independence, but not economic independence. 2, I agree with Comrade Abiodun as regards the role of IMF and the World Bank in the helms of affairs in Nigeria. Crypto freaks, that's the much we can take. We have Comrade Aremu Abiodun back on the line. Comrade, thank you for rejoining us. I want to take your last word very quickly. How do we proceed from here? You have made argument as to how our institutions need to be, run in the interest of the people. How do we achieve this, Comrade Abiodun?
I think the way to achieve this is like, I will also borrow from Fela. You see, Fela talks about open sense, open eyes, open ears, and open your mouth. The point is that Nigerians at this point need to combine those 4 variants in the resistance that we are calling on people to embark on soonest. And that is why we are doing a lot of consultations and engagement with various groups. And we are going to extend it also to the public.
Okay.
Let me recall this in moving ahead.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of May 2016, when the fuel price was increased from 86 naira 50 kobo, that was the official price then. It was increased on May 11, 2016 to 145 naira. And we are the labor partner in engaging this. A section of the civil society was deceived. The Minister of Communication, Minister of State and Petroleum, including the Present Minister of State of Labor, who was part of civil society then, they organized a conference at the airport hotel, promising Nigerians that their gains to accrue from the subsidy removal.
Okay.
And it is that gain they want to use to provide social provisioning, welfare services, buses, and all others. Nigerians should then ask. And those are colleagues who abandoned the trenches that time on that struggle to blackmail us, to blackmail jobs, to blackmail labor. Where are the gains from that subsidy now? So, and that's the point we remark that except we engage this government and engage every government of deception, because when Jonathan was deceiving the people, many of those who are in this government were also crying deception of Jonathan to rise to power. So we have every responsibility, and that's the position of JAF.
Okay.
To engage every deceptive government. But beyond that, Nigeria needs a change, not the kind of deceptive change. We need a change that will change the total political and economic structure of this country in the interest of the public. You can't have a National Assembly, State Assemblies, who are busy discussing allowances. None of them has ever one day said, let's pass a bill on free education for people. Let's pass a bill on free medical aid for people. Because those are the things that we are paying for. All those things Nigerians are lacking because of those private policies. We took IMF loan. Not a single word has been added to any of our teaching hospitals. And that's what we are suffering.
All right.
So before this loan starts, and that's why we are rounding, I want to round up on this matter.
Okay.
There was a government in this country who in 1976 said Nigeria has money, but didn't know how to spend it. 2 years later was when this crisis began with General Obasanjo. He took the first jumbo loan in this country in 1978. And what were the conditionality? Withdraw free tuitions in the university. Withdraw subsidized feeding in the university. And that also affected all our health sectors. So that's the point. Government in this country successively are running as agents of international capital. Nigeria must put a stop to that. All government that cannot run on the terms of the public interest in Nigeria, that such government does not deserve to stay in power.
Right.
So we must learn lessons. Even with the coronavirus, you see millions of people protesting in America. So for that, our appeal is to Nigeria. It's not just about our organization. It's about the interest of the public. The public must determine what we want. Do we want a country run by private sharks, private interests, or want a country for the future of our young people in education, in health, in job, and in everything and co. So we should stop these deceptions. So that's the point of job of appeal, that a government of deception must never allow to stay a day in power.
Comrade Abiodun.
Forget about those threats. We have never left the barricades.
Comrade Abiodun.
And we are going back to the barricades.
Comrade Abiodun, I'm sure that what you're saying is that the people must ask questions. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Morning Crossfire. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's 8:56. Let's play just a minute, any moment now. But I've got questions here. I've got thoughts here on Facebook because we're streaming live on Facebook, and my phone lines are buzzing. I can't extend this conversation beyond 9. Wemimo will not let me do that because Table Talk is next. And Wemimo is looking at men being raped. Why are men who had gone through rape before couldn't speak out. That is a conversation. I mean, she started it last week, and she's continuing with that conversation this morning as well. You need to watch out for that particular conversation. 0700 993 993 993. Just a minute starts right now.
This is Just a Minute. Just a Minute on 99.3 Nigeria FM.
Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
It's Mayowa.
Mayowa?
Yes.
Mayowa, have you won Just a Minute before?
Yes.
You've won before?
Yes.
You can't win again, Mayowa.
You said?
You can't win again, Mayowa.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we've got about over a million people listening. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Larry Badu.
Larry?
Yes.
Have you won Just a Minute before?
No, I have not.
Okay, you want to play?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's play then.
This is Just a Minute.
Larry, your time starts right now. Mention a segment on the Morning Crossfire that is being sponsored by MTN Nigeria.
That's what's it called?
What?
Headline.
You're wrong. What does the eagle in the Nigerian coat of arms represent?
Strength.
Okay. What is the full meaning of PPMC?
PPMC. No idea.
Okay. Where was crude oil first discovered in Nigeria?
That's River State.
Okay. For about 2 weeks, Nigeria has been reporting cases below 300 cases of COVID-19, yes or no?
I didn't get that.
For about 2 weeks, Nigeria has been reporting fewer cases below 300 of COVID, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So you're right. You've got 2 questions currently. Just stay on the line. A lady will pick your call now and speak to you, get your details and everything. I mean, you never know. You could just be the winner. Lagos, thank you for being a part of the Morning Crossfire. It's been awesome. It's been great. I'm back tomorrow at 5 a.m. Wemimo is next with Table Talk. Men who are being raped. Why are you guys not speaking out? It's good to talk to somebody, all right? The news is coming up after these commercials. Stay here on Nigeria Info.